This is going to be the tail section, so I'm going to go ahead and epoxy the servos in, epoxy the elevator section in, and then we'll attach this to the fuselage. That'll be 3 servos right there. So go ahead and put a little epoxy on here. Do the other side here. Now I'm just adding just a drop here on the part of the servo that's going to sit the flattest, and a little bit on the side. Make sure the wires are tight, pull through there. Okay, and for the last one would be for the rudder. By the way, one thing you should do also is test the servos before you install them in there. That's what I did. I tested them to make sure that they're all working. Last thing you want to do is get these epoxied in there and the servo doesn't work. It's not really something you want to do. So we got all our servos locked in there. All our cords are ran through there. I'm going to remove the epoxy here to the side. Now I'm going to bring the main fuselage section up here. We've got to run the wires through the entire back side here. There's a slot inside there that fits there, and there's a hole inside there also for the wires to run through. So we're going to go ahead and run the wires through there. Now I'm going to add some more epoxy in this area. See, I needed, with the 15-minute epoxy, I needed just enough time to get this in here. With the 5-minute epoxy, it would have already started curing on me already, so go ahead and slide this in here. Make sure all my wires are through that hole. Okay, so I went ahead and installed servos for the elevator and rudder section. As you can see there, I have the one there two here. So now I'm going to go ahead and use the 5-minute epoxy that was applied with the kit and add the elevator section. I think this is probably the only area where I will use the 5-minute epoxy. I'll probably use 15 again when I add the wing section in there. So what I'm going to do here is this elevator section here. I got a knife here. I'm going to go ahead and slit a little gap in there so that epoxy sits in there and bonds in there really well. Some people do it, some people don't, but I just want to be for sure that this section is actually stuck in there and bonded inside here. So I'm just going to slide a little 5-minute epoxy on both sides here, just a thin coat, nothing to where it would smear out. Other side here. Slide it in there. Make sure we're even on both sides. Grab my rag here for the over gaps here. Make sure we're even on both sides. Press in a little bit. Looks about even. So I'm going to go ahead and let all this stuff dry and I'll get back with you guys. We'll do a little CA gluing of the elevator section and the rudder. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is CA these elevators in using a little CA glue. The other side. There we go. Now I'll do the rudder. There we have it. We'll let this go ahead and dry. So I'm pretty much done with the tail section, but what I'll have to do is run the push rods here in the back, hook up my servo to my receiver after I go ahead and install everything and test everything out one more time before we move forward. So we're moving along, folks. We're done with the tail section.